This is what I mean by like leaning towards figuring it out yourself will save you an incredible amount of money if you're trying to be a car person, and sticking to a chassis that has been developed, sticking to a chassis that has give, sticking to a platform where there is mercy, where if you mess up, it's not going to cost you, $5,000, $15,000 for a motor, will not only help you develop as a enthusiast, develop as a person who wants to learn how to work on cars. Your mistakes won't carry as much financial burden, and it makes you feel more comfortable learning hard lessons. Before we get started today, I would first and foremost like to thank everybody that hit that subscribe button, and just reminding y'all to hit that notification bell. I never thought that within 3 to 4 months I would see over 50 subscribers plus. Wow. 50 new subscribers. That was pretty interesting. I'm grateful that y'all liked my content enough to actually hit subscribe. Just don't forget to hit that notification bell. Last week I couldn't post a video. We're here this week, and yeah, work's been chaotic, everything's been chaotic, life's been chaotic, but we're here every week. We're here every week with our generic salsa water with my Jersey accent. We're here with my salsa water. I can't help it. And we're ready to talk. So without further ado, let's get started with today's topic. Webster's dictionary defines consumerism as the theory that increasing consumption of goods is economically desirable. It also defines it as a preoccupation with and an inclination towards the buying of consumer goods. Then you start to come up with like nice and fancy adjectives and nouns like consumerist and consumeristic. And I feel like this really kind of ties into the modern day car community. I've met quite a few people who were like, oh, like it just, I couldn't afford it anymore. Like there was too much to do. I left the car community because I just became another consumer and I couldn't afford it anymore. You dumb prick. What are you doing? How are you building your car? Are you trying to build like a 950 horsepower B58 like everybody else on the face of this earth? Did you turbo a car you knew you couldn't afford? Did you try getting all the billet fancy parts that your heart desires? I'm usually criticized with being a minimalist. I'm usually criticized with somebody who will like go on websites, figure out where the manufacturers, where these companies get their car parts from in China, and then order it myself. I'll try to find a good deal. I'll try to find something on eBay. I'll try to find something used. I'll try to see what's the budget way to do it. Before I even think on dropping money on some aluminum billet, whatever hyped item. Unless this product is brakes or steering or suspension, you really got nothing to lose at the end of the day if you try to find a more budget-friendly option. Another thing is I've noticed a growing trend of people who completely lost the plot of what it means to be an enthusiast within any realm, whether it's cars, whether it's video games, whether it's PC building, whether it's art. Everybody nowadays, it seems like the best way to get popular within your relative niche is to spend the most money. And it seems like the entirety of the internet has become plagued with this. I saw a guy the other day, I saw a title of the video. I didn't even want to watch it because I saw the car that he owned. I was like, this ain't worth it. This dude was talking about how he left the car scene because he felt like it was just consumerism culture. Buddy, you want to get away from the consumerism culture in the car community? Get a Mustang. Get like a SN95 or whatever Mustang. Get an older Mustang. Get an older Beamer, E36, E46 preferably. Get something that's NA, easy to work on, bro. Get a Miata. Pretty it up as budget friendly as possible. You don't have to spend $20,000 every time you want to build a car. And this is what pisses me off. Everybody looks at the influencer that put himself in a crap situation. Either he put himself in an awful situation to build his dream car, and now he regrets it, and he's gonna raffle it off to y'all like a bunch of I don't know, like the sheep we are nowadays. Or he's a nepo baby. And I hate on the nepo babies because genuinely this 9 to 5 is not working out. I don't like it no more. This is ass, and I wish I was a nepo baby. But this is the cards I've been dealt. If you're somebody that likes cars, and I can really speak for the car community itself, if you're somebody that's in this game because you enjoy it, if you're somebody that wants to get started in cars, you want to learn how to work on cars, don't go into debt for this crap. Don't take out an Affirm loan for wheels. Look, I do believe that consumerism is like a plague, and we're propagandized into believing that more is better. But there is some personal responsibility here. I'm not saying you got to start investing your money in this and that and this and that. Just keep it in your pocket. Go on Facebook Marketplace, bro. There's so many listings out there for a nice set of wheels. There's people out there that are dying to get rid of a turbo kit for dirt cheap. You'll be surprised what's out there, bro, on Facebook Market. You might have to drive a state over. But you saved yourself, what, 70% of the cost? My biggest issue nowadays is everybody wants to be that guy. Everybody wants to be the biggest influencer. Everybody wants LZ's garage. Everybody wants Jimmy Oaks' garage. Everybody wants these, whatever supercar influencers' garage. I'm not pointing the finger and saying these guys are broke, but there have been, there's been a trend over the years where a lot of these guys were broke. I'm not talking about the guys that I mentioned, but there have been some people who hopped on social media, posted for an extended period of time, started making money, were really done with their money, kept moving up and up and up and up and up and buying the next expensive thing and the next expensive thing, and then rolling over a car payment and then rolling over a car payment and then rolling over a car payment, starting 5 different projects, 3 different projects, not being able to finish them at the same time, begging for sponsors. And then the algorithm changes, like we're seeing right now with YouTube. And then the consumer base, what people want to consume, what they like changes. What they're going after changes. It's no longer drift builds, it's drag builds. It's no longer cars, it's food. It's no longer X, it's Y, it's Z. All of a sudden the kids are into something else. The kids are not into drift cars anymore. The kids are into something else. Your viewership dipped. And these guys put money nowhere else except their cars. And they're broke. You want to be a car enthusiast that doesn't get burnt out, bro. You want to be a car enthusiast who doesn't look at his car with like this regret. Don't overspend. Like the amount of fancy parts I've seen that I've just been like, I want to buy this. Dude, I'm looking at a set of wheels right now. They're like $2,000. $2,000 for a set of wheels. I looked at them, like I priced them out. I'm like, just to do it. And I just kept looking at them. I'm like, bruh, this is ridiculous. $2,000 for a set of wheels. I found something that I like for like $900, and I might not even pull the trigger on it because I found something used on Facebook Marketplace that I can make look nice. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter at the end of the day, bro. You will regret becoming a consumer. Leaning towards minimalism ever so slightly, especially as somebody with a hobby, it keeps you in check. It ensures you aren't going too far off the deep end. It ensures that you didn't build a car to where when life changes, when you settle down, when you have kids, when you have a wife or a husband or whatever the hell I don't know what you guys do out here. I don't know what gender my viewer is at the moment. When you inevitably have kids, when you inevitably move into a different mode of life, you didn't spend $40,000 on a car bill, dude, that you're not going to be able to get your money back because you was hoping you were going to be an influencer. That ain't how life works. And that's where I kind of tie it back to like previous generations and how they built their cars. It was very interesting to talk to some old heads. Like, they really are a dying breed of making do with what you got, especially those old heads, man, those old car guys, bro. Those guys that could jerry-rig motor mounts together. Oh my God. I mean, like engine brackets. Those guys that can, jerry-rig a transmission bracket together. Those guys that knew how to just make things work, knew how to try to go to a junkyard and figure it out. I mean, I'll be honest with you, like I have plans in the works with a new build, with the current E30. Like there's things that I'm working on. There's a V2. If you follow me on social media, you've seen V2 already. If you haven't, then you know, what are you doing right now, dog? But there are things in the works. There are plans. There's another car I'm trying to get into, another platform, another style of building that I'm trying to get into. And the manual swap for this car is $4,500. $4,500. $4,500. Why? I saw one dude, it was like, there's like an adapter you have to get to run a clutch pedal. It's $750. And I saw the bracket and I literally said to myself, and you have to wait 6 months to get it. I said to myself, $40 in scrap metal from AutoZone, I can make this, not from AutoZone, from Home Depot, I can make this myself at home. 35 minutes in CAD, I'll make it myself. $750 for what? I could design that up in Onshape in 2 hours and send it out to a machine shop and tell them I need this out of the mildest steel you got, and just coat it in some thick rhino liner paint so it never rusts. This is what I mean by like leaning towards figuring it out yourself will save you an incredible amount of money if you're trying to be a car person, and sticking to a chassis that has been developed, sticking to a chassis that has give, sticking to a platform where there is mercy, where if you mess up, it's not going to cost you, $5,000, $15,000 for a motor, will not only help you develop as a enthusiast, develop as a person who wants to learn how to work on cars. Your mistakes won't carry as much financial burden, and it makes you feel more comfortable learning hard lessons. Don't get an F82. I hate to break it to you. Do not get an F80. Do not get an F82. Don't do that. Don't get a G80. If you're making $65,000 a year, do not get a BMW M3. Do not lease or finance a used BMW that is turboed. Don't do that. Don't make that mistake and start modifying it. Don't make that mistake, because you will regret it. You're going to run into situations. You're going to run into a platform that is going to force you into being a consumerist. It's going to force you into consuming products that are like $1,000. It's going to force you into the lightest mod costing you $950 just to buy the part. Forget about the labor. Forget about the other costs. Forget about, tuning. Forget about unlocking the ECU. You could buy an E46 right now, dog. You could buy an E46 right now. Put some headers, put a tune on it, some nice suspension, and you're in, and you could clean it up for $8K. $8K all in. $8,000 all in. And that is a fun car. That is an exciting platform. Oh, but it's open diff. I need an LSD. Shut up. I'm sorry, shut up. Figure it out. There's ways you can jerry-rig things together. I saw a dude, he put like a Z3 or like an E36 or I forgot what diff, E90, I forgot what BMW diff it was. He put it in a 240. He put it in a 240. It was an LSD. He put it in a 240. And it was like, don't ever let anybody tell you can't figure it out. He's like, I'm not paying that much money for Nissan parts. And that's the skill that's been lost. That's the type of thing that ain't easy. That's the part that involves creativity. That's the part that makes this scene fun, is you can discover some things, you can figure things out, you can try things. The sky's the limit. And when you're in it, in a platform where the cheapest part is not going to have a huge amount of financial strain on you, it's liberating. The reason why you see a decline in car guys and car girls is because they went the wrong direction. Every one of them wanted to be hype beasts. Everybody wanted a 72 or an 85 or $100,000 BMW, dude. And that's not sustainable. Everybody wanted an AMG. Everybody wanted a 400Z. Everybody wanted the newest Mustang. Everybody wanted to run, all these crazy parts. And 90% of the people that bought these cars, you can't drive for shit. I'm sorry, you suck as a driver. And you're wondering why all these nice cars are crashing. It's because you spent so much money on building a car that looks good on the internet, not the driver that looks good in real life, not the driver that can perform. Your first car was like some Buick, like some now I'm not talking about like a nice Buick. I'm talking about like grandma's car with 250 horsepower out of like a 4-liter V8. Horrendous. Thing started up, sounded like a turtle in mating season. Just awful. God damn type stuff. And then you hopped in a G80 because you got your first $50,000 a year job. And the first thing that went through your head is, I need that car. No, what you should have done was bought an E46. That's my go-to. Bought a Mustang, bought an E46. Hell, you could have bought a Ford Focus ST. You could have bought a GTI. Not new, used. You could have bought a GTI. You could have bought like 500 different other cars that are nice cars to drive. All in, been about maybe 12, 11 grand, depending on the platform, depending how far you want to get a ticket. Anywhere between $8,000 and $12,000. That's what you would have been all in after fixing whatever little problem the car has and then modifying it slightly. You could have learned a new skill, became a more, adept human being, and had a nice car in the process. But no, you decided to take the lazy way. You decided to become a hype beast, a hype boy, a hype girl, and pray into the consumerism and then blame consumerism. I'm not saying that, propaganda doesn't have a role to play. I'm not saying the internet doesn't have a role to play. I'm not saying these online influencers don't have a role to play. The influencers that I mentioned, they're just in it for the love of the game. Like, you could tell they're just people that love cars. But there are some people out there a lot of people out there, they'll genuinely look down at you for not owning a $90,000 car. I'm being honest. People, I've met people that look down on me for not having a G80. Oh, you're 31, you don't have a G80 yet? And I'm dying to see their bank accounts. I'm dying to see some of their bank accounts. Because what I see in front of me is an $87,000 car, $90,000 car with damn near $15,000 to $20,000 in modifications to it. No exaggeration. And somebody who doesn't own a house. I just hate to break it to you. Somebody who does not own a house. But you got, $140,000 sitting right there. I get home ownership is a priority thing. Some people prioritize home ownership. Some people prefer to rent. That doesn't matter. But don't walk up to me and be like, oh wow, how don't you have a G? How don't you have an M car yet? You don't know me. You don't know how. I'm 31 years old, bro. I don't got time for this crap. I got a life to live. You see the world right now. You see the economy. You see how difficult times are getting. You see how intense the divide between the haves and the have-nots is growing. You see it all. You're not blind to it. And this video, my take on consumerism in the car culture, in the car community, how it's robbing us of people that are skilled, people that have ingenuity, people that figure things out. How this whole culture of just buy now in the car community, you buy now, you buy now, you go home with it now, you pay later, taking a firm loan out for wheels. How it's robbing us of people that are skilled. And we see how in other countries, their lack of access to finances has not limited them from building some beautiful cars, from having some really cool builds, from doing insane swaps, all in some, makeshift shack in some village in Eastern Europe. Those are the guys I'm inspired by. Those guys that really just put something together and make it work and it performs. Those are the guys that are inspirational at the end of the day. And this take can be applied to so many different things. It can be applied to our view on housing. It can be applied to clothing and fast fashion. It can be applied to electronics and cameras. It can be applied to phones. It can be applied to this mic, for example. It can be applied to PCs. It can be applied to gaming. It can be applied to any kind of hobby. It can be applied to any mode of life. Vacations, for example. It can be applied to so many different things where we have entered this mode of existing where we are nothing but consumers. And those hobbies that are timeless, like cars, that came from a culture of people figuring things out, making things at home, welding things together, making things work, friends coming together in a garage to put their heads together and get a project done. That's slowly dying. That is slowly dying because now everybody wants an 800 horsepower car that they just drop off at a shop. And the lengths that people are going in order to achieve that is putting a lot of people through financial ruin and financial strain, and they're inevitably leaving the community. I know some people will say, good riddance. We don't want them. They're not real car guys. That's not the argument I'm trying to have here. The argument is, if you never took that inevitable step towards becoming the kind of individual who wants to figure things out in general, who wants to try and make something work, who wants to take a piece of metal and make it into a bracket, I don't know, this might not be for you then. If you're the type of photographer, for example, or videographer who needs a $7,000 setup, $10,000, $15,000 setup in order to get started, in order to get started, you need $15,000 to get involved, it might not be for you. Because at the end of the day, the people that have the most fun in life in general are the people that make do with what they got, are the people that figure things out. For some people, it might not be cars. For some people, it might be something else. And for some people, they might not have any hobbies at all. They just work home. And unfortunately, in this current, economic situation, that's becoming more common because circumstances weren't in your favor, because we live in a system that doesn't really look out for your average person. We live in a system where money goes towards the top and then it goes somewhere else. And it's used for things that we really don't want it to be used for. And that's the world we live in today. So, if you enjoyed today's episode, if you kind of like my take on things, if you enjoy this kind of content where I'm just talking into the camera, please like, subscribe, and share for more. Send this to your mother, send this to your grandmother, send this to everybody. Send this to everybody, bro. Send this to your dog that's got an Instagram account. And remember, always remember, the person who's trying to convince you that the only way for you to enjoy a certain hobby is to spend, $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 is an idiot. That's just it. They're an idiot. The person telling you that you have to have this model of car in order for you to begin having fun is an idiot. Don't listen to them. Find a platform that makes sense for you. Find something that makes sense for you and go have fun, because that's what really matters at the end of the day. I love y'all. Take care. Deuces.